on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's vlog. I am just headed out of the office, guys, finally ending my work day on this Wednesday. I'm unfortunately headed over to the dentist right now, which is one of my least favorite places to go. I do, against my will, schedule myself for routine checkups as dental hygiene is very important. Unfortunately, guys, growing up as a kid, I had tons of cavities. I'd like to say that it was attributed to my poor hygiene efforts as a child, but I also think that I got pretty shitty teeth. I've had way too many cavities filled. It's almost like every time they tell me I have a cavity that needs to get filled, I just accept the fact that, yes, it happens. Unfortunately, guys, we can't pick the things that our bodies aren't good at. So hopefully today's trip to the dentist does not result in any bad news. All right, guys, what do you think? No cavities! All right, guys, so let's move on to some of the content that you actually care about. I'm sorry that I distracted you with the little dentist thing there. So as some of you guys might know, and as others might not, I also own a 2015 WRX. I picked this thing up about a month and a half ago, and driving it throughout that month and a half has been very, very enjoyable. Now, unfortunately, guys, I haven't really had the time to make more or create or produce more content regarding the Subaru WRX. And in all reality, guys, I'm not really all that motivated to go out and make that many videos, at least at this point in time, about the car, because I mean, it's all stock. There's really not that much excitement regarding, you know, a stock WRX. Now, I did luck out on this thing, guys. I picked it up for a price that was just completely unbeatable. I actually drove from Pennsylvania here down to Johnson City, Tennessee, and back in one weekend. It was like an 1,100-mile journey. I picked this thing up for an absolute steal of a deal. It's in immaculate condition. It's got actually 38,000 miles on it now. I picked it up with 36,000 miles, so judging by that in a month and a half's time, you guys can tell that I drive a lot. But the car's a 2015 WRX Premium. Basically, it's got the sunroof package and all the other little necessities that I really wanted in the car. I didn't want to go out and pick up a Limited because in all reality, I didn't want to shell out the extra money for it, for the packages that I personally didn't see all that much value in. So luckily, the previous owner did end up throwing some tint on this thing, so it's got a 5% brow, as you guys can see here along the front, and it's got tint along the sides and in the rear, which is sweet, because I would have ended up doing that anyway, but that was just added cost that I didn't have to pump into the car, which was absolutely awesome. The big home run with this thing too, guys, is the fact that it's certified pre-owned. So some of you might argue the fact that 36,000 miles on a 2015 WRX is a lot of miles, and yeah, I mean, arguably it's a decent amount of miles. Whoever owned this thing before me, you know, drove it decently, but they did keep this thing all stock, and it's certified pre-owned, which basically means it has a contingency plan saying that, hey, you know what, if anything happens in the next 4 years or 100,000 miles, so basically I have another 60,000 miles, 62,000 miles if you want to get technical, on a factory warranty, then I'm covered. So that was a huge selling point for me, guys, because I actually owned a 2010 Volkswagen TDI, going to close the sunroof here, that I ended up selling back to Volkswagen. They gave me way too much money for it. That car was a salvage title car that I paid like $5 grand for, and if you know, you have friends out in the audience that went out and sold their Volkswagen back to Volkswagen, their TDI, you can imagine how much money I was able to make from that transaction. So what I wanted to do, guys, is actually put together a video regarding, you know, the best and the worst things about the 2015 Plus FA20, the newly redesigned WRX, because personally I think that the car has a lot of great merit or value, but I also think that it has a few flaws. And I wanted to put together one video that any potential owner or anybody that could have interest in this specific model year or up, which is the same model year, would be interested in finding out. So in all efforts to maintain safe driving conditions, it is 5 o'clock here on a Wednesday, trying to get through the traffic. I am going to get home quickly, and I'll let you guys enjoy that with me, and then we'll get into the pros and the cons. Guys, now I'm in a little bit more of a comfy attire. I had to get out of those work clothes, and it was a little bit later in the day as I did just get back from the gym. Now, before you all go and start criticizing me on wearing a bodybuilding.com t-shirt, All I gotta say is, guys, for any of you in the audience that have ever ordered anything from bodybuilding.com and met the purchase threshold to get one of these shirts, you'll know right away that these things are freaking really comfortable. So I don't even want to hear it, guys. All right, they're comfortable. Try not to be complete douche. I like these shirts. They fit well. End of story. So it is getting a little bit dark out, guys, and for those of you that are unaware, I do not do this YouTube thing full time. I do try to balance the creation of videos with my full-time day job, and at times it can be a little hectic. Plus, when you're at the mercy of Mother Nature, it can be also very challenging because nobody really wants to A, film a video in the rain, or B, watch a video that's filmed in the rain. Well, maybe I'll take that back because I guess some content could be very creative in that sense, but I don't want to film any content in the rain, at least today. So we're gonna get this video started. So earlier in the video, guys, I covered, the general overview of this car. I love it. I do have some awesome plans for it in the near future. As you all probably know, a predominant amount of my focus goes over to the Duramax. That thing's only got 35,000 miles on it. It's my baby. I love to play with that thing, and that is absolutely my specific area of focus. But with the new WRX in the arsenal and coming from an Evo 10, the modification bug for an all-wheel drive turbo platform is absolutely in my nature. So basically, guys, I have a few plans for this car before we get into the best and the worst things. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is probably the headlight mod, so blacking out the headlight housing. I'm probably gonna do some sort of an LED type C light around the housing that comes on more of the STI or the Limited. I'd like to also do some sort of a valance or a front lip on this thing. And then lastly, guys, I definitely wanna do some more aesthetics, enhancing the aesthetics, probably eliminating the wheel gap, as wheel gap drives me nuts, and getting me some nice 18, probably by 9.5 size wheels. So anybody out in the audience right now, please comment below on what are a good set of coilovers and what are a good set and spec of wheel sizes for this specific car. I'm thinking somewhere around the lines of 18 by 9.5, either plus 40, plus 38, or maybe even plus 27 with like a 255/35 or something along those lines. All right, guys, everybody always wants to hear the bad news first, so let's start there. First bad thing about the WRX and all STIs is the fact that the third brake light in the rear, and I don't know if I'm pointing to it right now, and if I did point to it, my accuracy is getting better, rattles like crazy. That rattles really, really, really bad. It's very frustrating, but it's an easy fix. All you need to do is put some sort of dampening in between this board and that third brake light to make it stop. Second thing that I really don't enjoy about any new Subaru in general is the quality of the paint. Now, what I do like, and it's very admirable on Subaru's behalf, is the fact that all of their plants, or at least the majority of their plants, are zero waste plants, which is awesome for our environment. Awesome, go Subaru, coming from a diesel truck owner. But what I don't like is that they use a water-based paint, I think, and please don't rip me apart if that's not the case, but the paint quality is really, really cheap. It's got a lot of orange peel directly from the factory, guys. It's not the fact that this is a used car, and it chips, becomes granulated very, very quickly. The third thing I don't like about this car is the fact that it has 17-inch wheels. Now, I can't really complain because it is a really good looking car, but I think 18-inch wheels from the factory would be a nice addition, but again, not a make or break deal. Another very interesting aspect of a very stock car is the fact that the clutch pedal is extremely high pressure. It's very, very surprising that an all stock Subaru WRX has as much pressure on the clutch as this car does. For as forgiving as the car is to drive, that clutch is very, very heavy. Now, another thing, guys, from the factory, again, we're talking an all stock car, is the rev hang. These motors are made for an elementary level driver, so they make a rev hang. That way the revs probably don't drop very quickly and make it very easy to drive. Next thing, guys, would be general throttle response. Now, it seems like they almost build into their algorithm or the logic of the car a hesitant throttle response. So it seems like it's delayed by a few seconds. When you get into drive-by-wire cars, that's almost unavoidable. You hear the pedal pressed and then released, and then it revs. One more thing while we're inside the car, and I don't know if this is all Subarus alike, and anyone out in the audience, please attest to this. It seems like the consistency of the clutch is kind of strange. This car drives very well. The clutch, it releases well, but sometimes it seems a little finicky. I don't know if that's just my car or not, but just giving you guys my real life observations. Now, another thing that I'm a little torn about, but I'm definitely not mad about, and we can use this as a caveat to go into the positives, is the fact that this motor is not your traditional boxer. Well, let me take that back. It is your traditional boxer motor. It's the flat form motor, but it doesn't come equipped with the unequal length headers, which result in that notable boxer rumble. The last downside that I have about this car is the fact that it does not have that audible note of the notorious Subaru rumble. Let's spin off from all that negative into the positive, because guys, I bought this car because I love this car. This is the ultimate daily driver in my overall opinion because of all of the different areas that this car touches upon. It's got the handling, it's got the performance, it's a manual all-wheel drive 4-cylinder turbo that's very responsive and it gets great gas mileage. And I kind of just gave away all the great things about the car, but how about we go into the specifics? Is the overall beauty of the lines. I absolutely just love the systemic flow of body line that this car has. The second thing, guys, that I absolutely love is this new and improved FA20 DIT motor. This thing rocks. Basically, guys, it's a very, very efficient motor, and that's going to kind of lead us into our next third thing that I love about this car. But the motor is incredibly smooth, and the turbo spools by like 2,000 RPMs, guys. Now, a lot of you might argue the fact, yeah, well, you don't have any top end. But what you need to realize is if you're going out to purchase a vehicle for daily driving consumption purposes, that is the best thing that you could ever hear, because it doesn't require downshifting to get, let's just say, past that old lady in the left lane that just insists on doing 55 in the left lane. We all know, or that old man, or whomever it might be. That shit is so annoying. This car, you don't need the downshift. And what's beautiful is cruising at 80 miles an hour, just a little bit above the speed limit, legally though, of course, you know, just gradually following traffic. I'm only at 3,000 RPMs in 6th gear. That's amazing. The next thing I love about this car, guys, is the overall fuel economy. I've been averaging, let's just say, between 28 to 30 miles to the gallon, getting about 450 miles to a tank. Now, some of you Subaru loyalists out there might argue the fact that, yeah, dude, but your car still doesn't have that notable boxer motor, whatever the case is. That's fine, guys, but you can keep your bad fuel economy and you can keep your 5-speed transmission. What I absolutely love about this thing is I'm getting the amazing fuel economy, which is obviously a majority attributed to the new motor, but it also has to deal with the fact that I've got 6 gears. That is huge right there, guys. And to anybody out in the audience that's never owned a 5 or 6 speed car, I'll attest to the fact that when you own a 5-speed manual car, you just feel like constantly something is missing in your life. When you go to shift into 5th gear, you just want to send it to 6th, but you can't send it whatsoever. And it's not another day, another beer, guys. It's not. Now, guys, I do plan on doing the intake on this thing. I probably won't do an exhaust. In my benefit, I actually don't really like the way that these things sound with exhausts. I think they sound way too standard, like your average day 4-cylinder turbo. You know, it's just not a very pleasant sound. My Evo 10 sounded badass. That was a very gargly sound, whereas this thing kind of just like, it's like one of those. So I don't really like that, but that's of merit for me because I'm not then tempted to modify the exhaust on this, which is ultimately going to save me a lot of money down the road and avoid the temptation to go out and make power. But what I really do like, guys, is that this stock exhaust makes great sound, and when you're downshifting or even getting out of boost, letting the throttle out of boost, it has a notable popping sound or kind of bubbling sound, which is basically just back pressure being released from the exhaust. I really like that, and what's nice is, even stock, guys, the turbo, you can hear it spool very, very well. I don't know if this clip will illustrate that, but check it out. Now, I tried to take a clip, guys, but the audio didn't come through too well, but take my personal experience. The turbo, you can hear, you have to have the music off, but still, it's nice to know that, because on my Evo 10, I could not hear the turbo spool whatsoever when it was on that stock intake. Another huge win on Subaru's behalf is the reorganization of the architecture of the gauge cluster. Now, I don't know about you guys, but looking at that gauge cluster makes me feel the way that I want to feel when driving a car. I honestly don't care about all those other little gizmos and gadgets. I do have all that stuff in my truck. It is an LTZ Chevrolet, so it's got like every gizmo and gadget possible. The car feels so much more refined than my Evo 10. But to touch on the fact that I spoke about early on boost delivery, that's really nice. But this thing also carries an array of boosts throughout the RPM spectrum. So if you were to graph the boost cycle, let's just say here's linear boost, I would say it peaks and then it kind of goes stagnant, and then it peaks again up until kind of about redline, or maybe about 500 RPMs under redline. So it's nice is you kind of get into boost and then it staggers out a little bit and then it steps into boost again, which is really nice because ultimately you want your turbo to carry boost throughout the RPM spectrum to give you a linear power delivery feeling. Another thing that I absolutely love about this, guys, and pardon any shakiness that comes through, visibility in this thing. So what's cool is this is the first car that I've ever owned that has little windows up in front of the mirror, which is really, really nice because it gives you kind of that added visibility and the overall clearance between your A-pillar here that you typically don't get because typically it's blocked off. While we were talking about driver's feel, guys, the arch steering wheel on the bottom here is something that back in the day you'd only see in like a GTR. Now, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, this is huge for me because I'm coming out of a 2010 Volkswagen Sport Wagon. I had tons of room in that thing, guys. I call it like the battle wagon because that thing went through thick and thin, no problem. My dog loved it. Dog actually hasn't come in here yet. He's an Australian Shepherd. He sheds like crazy. So he hasn't completely taken ownership of the rear seat of the WRX yet. I'm sure that that will happen in due time. But I love the fact, guys, that the seats with the pull of a button fold right down, which gives you access to your rear cargo compartment. Because honestly, guys, it's a WRX. I'm gonna be driving this thing all year round. Honestly, can't wait to make snow videos for you guys. But it just gives the overall car so much storage capability. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say that the overall driving experience of this car is one that I'm going to tell you all is very, very worth the amount of money that this thing packs. I mean, it's a great value for a great price. And if you can find one certified pre-owned, this thing's got 38,000 miles on it, but I've got another 62,000 miles or 4 years that are left on the warranty of this car. So basically, guys, if you're ever going out to buy a used WRX, buy one that's certified pre-owned, because anybody knows that going out and buying a used car like this, there's so much ambiguity around the vehicle owner, or the vehicle history, or the vehicle driving dynamics of that past owner. So when you buy certified pre-owned, it's complete peace of mind because you know that your powertrain and your drivetrain are completely backed by Subaru, because Subaru has the confidence to invest in the owner of the car that had it before, you know, me, for instance, and B, they know that this thing is worth investing in. If they didn't feel the confidence to invest in it and not certified pre-owned the car, they probably had a little bit of suspicion that the car was beaten up. I'm even talking to a few STI owners right now through YouTube, so thanks for supporting me, guys, that want to go get rid of their STI because the WRX seems so much more appealing. You don't have to do the expensive brake Brembo jobs. You can get better fuel economy. It's just an overall driver's car. Hey, if you want to go out and modify something, switching hands here for you guys, if you want to go out and really modify something, the STI is probably your car. There's always a comparison, and yeah, the STI is more of an overall, more performance-oriented package. But hey, guys, you gotta realize it is what it is. I love driving this thing, and that's all that matters. So it's getting late here in Pennsylvania, guys. I gotta get back home to the fiance and the dog, my fur child. With that said, thank you so much for tuning into this video, guys. Really look forward to providing more content on the WRX. I have been slacking a little bit with it lately because I am waiting for some parts to arrive. So the next video probably will touch on that installation of that part and a full product review for all you guys out there that are looking to get a little bit more of a performance gain out of your vehicle on the stock tune. That way you don't void your warranty. So with that said, guys, please remember to like this video. If you haven't already, or you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.